I love this country with all my heart, with all my soul. It is a love without limit. I have a bottomless faith in the goodness of its land, the goodness of its people.
From soldier to statesman to servant, Colin Powell's career is simply unmatched. He was born in Harlem in 1937, the son of two Jamaican immigrants. At 16, he entered the City College of New York and studied geology, but it wasn't until he joined the school's ROTC program that he finally found his purpose and his bedrock.
World War II occupied the first good part of the first several years of my life, and then when I entered my teenage years, the Korean War came along. So by the time I was 17 years old, I'd seen about 7 or 8 years of war. And as any young child would, I studied the tanks and the planes and the guns, and there was a fascination with all that. And I suspect that also moved me in the direction. I think it was the structure, the discipline, the sense of camaraderie, the sense of adventure associated with being in the military.
Powell graduated in 1958 and became a second lieutenant in the Army. Within 10 years, he had served 2 tours in Vietnam and was wounded in each, suffering a severe foot injury from a booby trap and breaking his ankle in a fiery helicopter crash. Yet still, he was able to rescue some of his fellow troops. Those heroics and others led to 11 decorations, including a Purple Heart, a Bronze Star, and a Soldier's Medal. Powell's assignments took him around the globe, Korea, Europe, and then to a much different battlefield, Washington, D.C.
To some extent, it's war in a different way, but politics is war without bullets and shells, usually.
Powell eventually rose to 4-star general and held senior leadership positions under 4 U.S. presidents. He served as Ronald Reagan's national security advisor, and George H.W. Bush appointed him chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. At age 52, Powell was the youngest and first African American to assume the nation's highest-ranking military position. And in that role, he oversaw 28 conflicts, including Desert Shield and Desert Storm. He also developed what became known as the Powell Doctrine, a list of conditions that must be met before the United States can commit to war.
War is to be avoided. When they have to be fought, fight them well and get them over with quickly. And in all of the exhilaration and joy that comes from victory and success, don't ever forget the price that was paid for it.
In 1993, Powell ended his 35-year military career with an official retirement and a second Presidential Medal of Freedom.
The Army took in a young black kid from ROTC in the South Bronx and brought him to this point. The Army allowed me to climb on the shoulders of the Buffalo Soldiers and other African Americans who had blazed the trail for 300 years of American history. The Army has been my home. The Army has been my life. The Army has been my profession. The Army has been my love for all these many years.
He became a noted public speaker, a best-selling author, and founding chairman of America's Promise Alliance, a partnership of more than 400 organizations dedicated to improving the lives of children. But in 2000, Powell was called back into service when George W. Bush nominated him as the 65th Secretary of State.
We will stand strong with our friends and allies against those nations that pursue weapons of mass destruction, that practice terrorism. We will not be afraid of them. We will not be frightened by them. We will meet them. We will match them. We will contend with them.
As the country's chief diplomat, Powell favored conversation over conflict. But things changed after 9/11. Although he first resisted plans to invade Iraq and overthrow Saddam Hussein, Powell eventually supported President Bush and played a key role in building momentum toward the war. His 2003 speech to the United Nations Security Council clearly detailed Iraq's manufacturing and concealing of weapons of mass destruction.
We have first-hand descriptions of biological weapons factories on wheels and on rails.
Clearly, Saddam Hussein and his regime will stop at nothing until something stops him.
Powell's stellar reputation swayed opinions in the country and Congress, but his speech was based on military intelligence that was later proven false. There were no such weapons, yet the Iraq War raged on for nearly 10 years, and with extensive costs, and casualties. Powell said he didn't know the reports were wrong, but he still called it one of my most momentous failures. 21 months after the speech, Powell resigned.
The greatest pleasure comes from working with like-minded people in all of the organizations I've been a part of, serving the nation. In every one of these jobs, there have been high points and low points. And what you have to learn to do in government or in life is to work through problems, seize the opportunities as they come along, deal with the crises and challenges as they come along. And that's always the way I've tried to live my life in public service.
Powell returned to the private sector to continue his work at America's Promise and venture into other business, community, and educational programs. From endorsing Barack Obama to condemning Donald Trump, the 84-year-old general remains vocal in politics even today, but his voice resonates most loudly on leadership.
One of my sergeants back in the infantry school at Fort Benning, he said to me one day, he said, "Lieutenant, you'll know you're a good leader when people follow you, if only out of curiosity." I've never had a better definition. What he was saying is they trust you. And you have built up that trust. And so they would teach us at the infantry school, no matter how cold it is, Lieutenant, you must never look cold. No matter how hungry you all are, Lieutenant, you must never appear hungry. No matter how terrified you are, Lieutenant, you must never look terrified. Because if you are scared, terrified, hungry, and cold, they will be scared, terrified, hungry, and cold. I've gotten away with that many, many times in the course of my career by being scared to death, cold, and wanting to go to sleep. But no, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's go around this corner, if only out of curiosity. And they'll follow you into the darkest night, down the deepest valley, up the highest hill, if they trust you.